Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel called Living in Hayward, Wisconsin, where we talk about all things real estate related and also just about living in Hayward and what that's like. I'm Audrey Miller. I'm the broker owner of Northwest Wisconsin Realty Team. We're located right on Main Street in Hayward. Obviously, feel free to reach out anytime if you have questions about the market here, if you're looking to buy or sell. I am a lakefront and listing expert and I'd be happy to help you. Anyway, today we have a really fun topic to dive into and do a video about. It is all about Wisconsin supper clubs and specifically supper clubs, of course, around the Hayward area. So I've spent the past couple of months going to these various supper clubs as my schedule allowed and doing a little footage while I'm there of the interiors of the places, the exterior, the food that we ordered, the menu, just, a few notes. Sometimes there'll be a lot of loud background noise. I apologize for that, but these are places that are operating and in business and there's going to be people there. So, and noise that goes along with that. The 5 supper clubs that are featured in this video are Garmish's up in Cable, the Chippewa Inn out on Highway B east of Hayward, Tally Ho Supper Club on 77, Trailways Inn at the corner of Highway 27 and K, and then the Ranch Supper Club, which is located just east of Hayward on 77 near Walmart. And just a little bit of history and a few things about supper clubs. I think most of my viewers are probably familiar with the Wisconsin Supper Club, but this is a long-standing tradition in the state of Wisconsin. And really, supper clubs and the idea around them was formed from the aspect of community. So people would come, they would sit and have a drink at the bar, then you would finally get to your table, you have the relish tray, you've got the bread, you've got the main course, dessert. So it was meant to be kind of an all evening type of experience with your neighbors and friends. So it's not something that is a rush through, get the next people into the table type of experience. Now these days you can still go sit at the bar and order an old fashioned, which is kind of a staple of the supper clubs in Wisconsin as well, and hang out there while you wait for your table. But a lot of times you can just go straight to your table, especially if you make a reservation. So that lingering and community sense is still available, but I would say the actual dining experience is a little more traditional in terms of going and having a seat at your table, enjoying your drinks, your meal, your relish tray, and all of that. I love the relish tray aspect. As you can see in my video, some supper clubs that I featured put a little more into that than others. And the other pieces that make a place a supper club versus just a restaurant. One is they're typically individually and family owned. A lot of times have been in the same family for a very long time, or have only had a few owners over the years. The ambiance tends to be more dark, wood paneling, rustic, dim lighting, like kind of a very cozy feel. And I notice in all of the supper clubs, I think they all retain that feel that is reminiscent of the old supper clubs and kind of has been the tradition throughout the years. They often have a little more of a comfort food, surf and turf, limited type menu. I mean, I wouldn't call it limited, but it's maybe focuses more on the meat and potatoes type of things. But typically they have Friday fish fries and Saturday night prime rib. Those are both traditions. And in my video here, actually 2 of the supper clubs in our area happen to feature German fare. So that's kind of interesting. That's the Chippewa Inn and Garmish's. So I was thinking about rating these, but I'm not going to. I think they are all great in their own way. I had, a favorite. My husband had a favorite, but I think I'll just leave it as it is. So they are in no particular order within the video, but I hope you really enjoy it. I hope that if you're not from the area, you get a chance to try one or more of these awesome supper clubs, and maybe you learn a little bit about some of the featured supper clubs in our area, and just enjoy. Leave me a comment in, after the video if you'd like, and maybe what's your favorite or some experiences you've had with supper clubs or a favorite dish at one of the supper clubs. But yeah, come along with me for the adventure to the supper clubs in and around the Hayward area. Here we are at Garmish's up by Cable, and this is known to be a classic supper club with German fare. I feel like you got to come to Garmish's just to see the building. Such a cool building. And so this is east of Cable, Wisconsin. You take Highway M and then Garmish Road, probably about 15 to 20 minutes east of Cable, Wisconsin. So here we are at Garmish's. It is such a supper club vibe with like the dark interior, but we've got beautiful views of the lake out here. This is on Lake Namakagon. But you got the big beams up here. Kind of smells like a supper club, looks like a supper club. And then they also do have a bar as well. It is adjacent to the dining room. And again, you have great views of the water. Beautiful deck outside, gorgeous Lake Namakogan. And then they've got the lodging here as well at the Garmisch Inn. The typical, one of the things that makes a supper club is when you have a lot of surf and turf type items, which they do here. And usually supper clubs have a very good wine selection as well. So a lot of times at supper clubs, you get a relish tray with your meal. But at Garmisch's, it doesn't come with the meal. But if you order it as an appetizer, it is $18, and you've got some potato soup, some pickled beans, pickled herring, dill cucumber salad, crackers, cheese dip, and some beets and ranch seasoning. So looks pretty yummy. So my husband ordered a steak, prime rib on a Saturday night. And with it comes this warm bread. Obviously, we have some butter here. And then the soup today was a Parmesan asparagus. Sorry, it's kind of loud in here, but so that's the beginning of the meal. All right, and one of the menu choices at Garmisch's is the King Prime Rib. This is on a Saturday night. Loaded baked potato, au jus, sour cream, and it looks very yummy. So we're gonna dig in and enjoy. Hope you enjoyed hearing about Garmisch's, east of Cable, 15 minutes on beautiful Lake Namakogon. So the next supper club that I want to talk about is a real tried and true Wisconsin supper club. It is called the Chippewa Inn. Sorry, part of the C is missing there. And this is located on Highway B, about 20 minutes or so east of Hayward. This is actually the closest supper club to my own house. It's been for sale for a little while now. So far, they have not been able to sell it, but they are continuing to operate it kind of with limited hours, but typically Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night. And this is on a Monday night, and it is quite busy here. So we'll see. We didn't make a reservation, so we'll see how that goes, if we can find a table anytime soon. But they have really beautiful landscaping and flowers around the building here. I always appreciate it when I drive by, especially out here by the highway. They've got some beautiful gardens. I'm not sure who takes care of these gardens, but somebody definitely is good at it. So this is a cheese soup, side of cottage cheese. Same here. And then there is some very nice warm bread that comes with the meal. I would say that this place meets a lot of the supper club criteria in terms of the cozy atmosphere, independently owned, surf and turf type menu items. And I'll show you a couple of meals shortly when we get them. So our main course has arrived, and I ordered the chicken schnitzel, which is chicken flattened and then pan fried. And these are a specialty of the Chippewa, and these are potato pancakes. So I thought I should try them with a side of applesauce. And then Jim got a large ribeye and a baked potato, kind of more standard fare. But I'm hoping all of this tastes very good. So thank you for joining me. Tally Ho, located about 15 or 20 minutes east on 77 from Hayward. This has been a staple in the area a long time. Changed owners a few times over the years, but it's a really great place and beautiful outside too. They have gorgeous flower beds here. So let's go and see what Tally Ho has to offer in terms of a supper club environment and food. So the owner of Tally Ho says that all of these items are made here. This is a liver pate, some kind of sweet peppers, can't remember, I'm sorry, and a calamari olive salad. So all house recipes. So tonight I ordered an old fashioned because why not? But also, if you want wines, they've got quite an extensive wine list. And then there are signature drinks here. And on the other side of this, there's a whole martini list. And then I'm going to show you the actual menu. So this is Tally Ho's burnt end dip. It's the ends from the prime rib made into a dip, and then baguettes and some bread with it, which looks amazing. And tonight they had about 5 appetizers that were not on the menu, so they tend to have specials that are not just on their main menu. So this is the salmon with root vegetables and a very good glaze. Can't remember what it's called. And then this is the 6-cheese lasagna with meat sauce and a side of bread. And that's what we got tonight. So that's what I have to show you from the Tally Ho. Very, very good. So I'm here at Trailways Inn. This is a long-standing supper club in the area. And this is at the corner of Highway 27 and County Road K. This is a Friday night, so we've got our typical fish fry, but it's pretty full here. So tonight we are here at the Ranch Supper Club. The ranch has been here as long as I can remember, that's for sure. I'm not certain what year this opened up, But there was new owners a couple years ago, a younger couple, and they're doing a fabulous job with the place. This is just past Walmart on Highway 77 East. So the ranch has a bar, it's got a big dining room, and then it has another room over on this side that is kind of like a separate room. You could do Christmas parties or have groups in there and kind of have your own space. This is just a random Thursday night in July in Hayward, Wisconsin, and you can see how incredibly busy it is. So we arrived at the ranch on a Thursday night in late July, and there is almost an hour wait. So heads up, if you're coming to the Ranch Supper Club, you want to either have time to have some drinks, or maybe it would be wise to make a reservation. But bonus, I got to have an old-fashioned. So here is the relish tray at the ranch. We've got some pickled herring, veggies, and then some crackers and butter. So I don't know where you can hear me because it's a little loud in here, but I got the salmon with the dill garlic sauce, baked potato with sour cream, and my significant other Jim got the ribeye steak, loaded baked potato, and both things look really good. So we are going to dive in.